Today we continue my journey down Lego memory lane by building another set from my childhood. In the last episode, I ended up building Robo Guardian, a set I fondly remember from 1994. In this episode, we're going further back in time to a set that was in my personal collection, but also in the $200 vintage lot that I got over the summer. And as soon as I saw this manual, I knew I needed to build this set. This is the manual for LEGO Castle Set 6059, titled Knight's Stronghold, a part of the Black Knight sub-theme. Has 206 parts, came out back in 1990, and from what I can tell, originally sold for $22 US. I know this set probably isn't very impressive to you. It's pretty simple and rather small, but to me, the reason this has such a place in my heart is because this was the only LEGO castle that I had as a kid. LEGO castle sets were rather expensive, especially some of the ones that you'll be seeing out of that $200 vintage lot that this came out of. But this set to me was the one that I had, and because of that, I absolutely loved it. And the cool thing about this is the majority of this is still in my collection. I pulled nearly everything. Well, Clark and I both did this. I got to give credit where credit's due. We pulled pretty much everything out of the lot here in order to build this, with the exception of that shield, and I think I needed one of these guys right here. But everything else is out of this lot, so mine is mostly intact, and I thought today it'd be really fun to build up the Knight's Stronghold. Here's a better look at what I hope are all the pieces from this set, although I'm doubting myself a little bit after the Robo Guardian build yesterday. But as you can see, not a whole lot of variety in terms of color, but it is a castle set. And speaking of that, here are all of the castle minifigs that Clarkman built up. He even has all their accessories and everything. He loves doing that part. So I saved that for him, and then I get all of the black pieces that's required to build some of these sets like that. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about building. If you want to see the set in a little detail, you're going to see it quite a bit here in a second, but it's got a little catapult thing in the front. I still remember that. I love that. So it's basically that, and then we get into the build here, and I'm already noticing something that I forgot. Not only a staple in there, where are these pieces at? I'm really doubting myself now. I'm actually a little worried here because it looks like I need 3 4x12 green plates, and looking at the parts collection here, I don't think that I have it. I might have to go into my collection, which I'm not even sure if I have it there either. Let's see if we have any luck in here. Looking for green parts. There's one right there. Is that the right size? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that's it. We got one. Gosh, I don't know if I'm going to have the rest, but we'll look under here. I could always go to gray, I suppose. Actually, I take that plan back because I cannot live this life where we are using the old gray along with the new light bluish gray. I can't do it. So we're going to go to plan C, I think. Maybe black is the way to go. I've got 2 of those right here already. It's going to blend in with the set quite a bit, but I think that'll work a little better than the off-colored gray there. But I'm thinking that this set, while I had the manual there, I don't think this set was intended to be built out of the collection of pieces that I have there. Because the previous 3 sets we built, and I'll show you what those were if you're just tuning in here. These 3 sets right here required literally nothing from me or my collection. Every single piece was in there, minifigs, everything. And then we get to this one, and all of a sudden I'm missing one of the minifigs. I have to pull parts for this guy. These pieces aren't even in that collection. So I'm thinking that all of these parts here are actually intended for another castle set that's probably in there. I have a whole stack of manuals here, and these parts could be from like literally anything because they are kind of the same across some of these, obviously. And it could just be stuff that's not even here in general. But yeah, something seems weird about this. As I was putting those back up there, I just got a big brain moment. Being that I pulled all of this set, or the majority of it, from this lot, that means this is still intact in my collection, which means that these parts are probably there as well. Let's take a trip across the studio. Don't mind this operation. I got to make a whole video about our minifig thing that we're doing. But if we go into here and we get into my plates, I should have those green plates in here. I don't see them though. That's very strange. I always thought that I was very good at maintaining my collection, and yet here we are. I don't have those pieces. You know you're in rough shape when you're going to plan D, but that's where we're at. I'm gonna take 2 of these to equal that one, because I do have one of the original pieces, or what could be substituted into the original set, and then we'll do this. It's not how it's supposed to be, but it's as close as we can get, and then if I'm feeling real frisky, I'll just get on Bricklink with our next order and see if anybody has this in stock while we're making another order. Not important enough to make it its own thing, but I think that'll work best for us today, and it'll give us the color we're looking for. This has got me worried, but we're gonna try building it. We're gonna have a good time. The Robo Guardian is excited. He's a new character on the channel since Clark Man's at school. and we're going to build this up. This was supposed to be the shot of the completed castle, but just like in life, when one problem is solved, another problem enters the door. And this is a door you'd have no problem getting through because, as you can see, I made yet another Bricklink inventorying error. I've got a door that's 2 sizes too small. You could definitely get through this castle without any problems. And unfortunately, just like I had predicted, this set I don't think was supposed to be a part of this. I had the manual, but I don't think the parts were here because there are no castle doors of that size, nor are they in my collection either. So it's a complete mystery where these things went. Luckily on Bricklink, they're only like $2 or $3. Unluckily, they will not be featured in this video because I have to order them. So we're adding to our Bricklink order. Not only do we need some green plates for under there, which honestly is not even a problem anymore because everything is all buckled together. You wouldn't even notice it, but those doors, they are a problem, and that is really unfortunate. Also, I need a couple other pieces for my build too. There's some 1x1 plates that I need for here, and then I was gonna go into my collection, but then I remembered my issue with the light bluish gray and I can't use them, so yeah, this isn't going as I had hoped, but just like any journey in life or in Lego, sometimes you gotta work with what you got. Honestly, what I really think, if you weren't trying to replicate this one-to-one, what I would do is just make this doorway smaller and kind of move it in by one and down a little bit, and that would totally work. But I really want this thing to be built the way it was supposed to be, so I'm okay making a little bit of a Bricklink order. Those parts are only like $3 each. Right now I'm digging for these. I think I need 4 of them. So we're just kind of going through the back corner here and finding our stuff. There we go. We got those. So that is fixed. Who knows what else I'll run into. I'm going to build this up, but before I do that, I want to share something really cool with you that I don't want to make you wait till the end for. This catapult that I built right before I started the stream is really cool. Something on it that I forgot about that I want to share with you. Sometimes I joke about filler. This is the opposite of that. The catapult is so good. In fact, if you just took a minifig with this could be its own set, and I'll show you why I like it so much. Basically, you have it set up like this, and there's this axle that runs through there, which I thought initially was just for decoration, but then I put this counterweight on, and once you pull this out, look at that. It flings that up. And if you want to have a lot of fun with this, you can take one of these cannonballs that's down here, or whatever, a rock I guess it would be, and then you get your hand out of the way and you go like that and it flings it. How cool is that? I really love that, and that was just a great way to start the set. I think Clark's gonna be really excited about that. And that was fun, and I was excited. Then we got to the doors, but it's okay. I'm gonna work through this. As long as you can forgive the substitutions and the tiny doors, I'll build the rest of this setup and we'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. And hopefully I have a complete castle. With one piece left to put on, I saved this one for you. We put our shield onto the side of the door, the very perfectly fitting doors that totally aren't too small. There is our Knight's Stronghold, looking pretty good, even with the setback that we had. In fact, it's not really even a setback. I did this on the stream, and I think this actually works. You just take the knight off of the horse, you put the back on to make him complete, and then you take the horse and you put him right there, and all of a sudden, we now have a proper door that allows horses to get through, because that's what you want in a castle. You want an area for everything to get through. And I think the horse looks kind of good there, and that's the message. It's not about going and buying things on Bricklink. It's about making the set your own. This is what I'm telling myself. And we've got a horse there now who actually looks pretty good, so we'll leave him there for the rest of this. I am going to put the guys up. As you can see, the sides of this kind of fold in, so you can make it like that. It's a very small castle. But for 200 pieces with the catapult, which I just added an extra piece on, somehow forgotten. This was off the rails from the beginning. This thing actually works even better now. Before I was able to move that around a little bit. Now it's stuck in place, and I think this is truly the highlight of this set, if I'm being honest. Like, boom, that and the tiny doors, my 2 favorite parts of this. But we got the catapult, which I showed you, so I won't waste any more time with that. Let's put our guys on the top. They all just died on the side of the shot there. We had this guy over here, and the walls don't leave much protection there either. Things are not going to be good for this guy unless he hunches down quite a bit. Really though, this guy doesn't have it too bad with the crossbow, because this dude's up here, he's done for. And then we got the last guy who can at least throw his spear at the top. So that's what it looks like from there. These guys, I'm assuming, are invading this place now without a horse, because his horse is creeping out of there. But these guys are sick, and that shield piece is awesome. So I love that. I had to go into my collection for that one, because that wasn't in here. Neither, like most of this set, honestly, wasn't in here. But that's what they look like. And this just, man, it takes me back. I got to show you this, though. Since we have some visitors coming in, we have a jail cell in the back of this. let's get you right in there so you can see that. You open the door up like that, and then you're going to take this guy's weapons away, and he has just enough room. These are very inhumane conditions inside this prison cell. Just enough room to stand up in there. That is not good, but there's bars all around it. There's bars there, so you could kind of break him out, and that'd be a neat play feature. I remember the Wild West sets that I had from like 96, where the sheriff's place had a jail cell that like blew the side of it off on the outside with some dynamite or some TNT, and this doesn't have that, but it does have a catapult that you could launch. Like there's all kinds of play features that you could launch that, and then one of these hits the side, you could blow that apart, this guy goes flying off. This is what Lego is about, in my opinion. And you know, this is back when I used to actually like play with Lego, and I miss those days because as an adult collector, even with a Clark man, like we build the sets up and it's like we admire them, we put them on display, but like I don't really play anymore and I miss that. And this kind of just like gives me all these scenarios. The horse coming out of there is just funny. It's a fun little set, even though it's not built right. We'll get it fixed. I'm gonna get on Bricklink, don't worry. We'll get this built properly because this could be kind of triggering to some people, being like, man, that castle is not right. Only in our minds it's not right, but in our hearts, this is the way that it's supposed to be. I'm trying to make whatever I can out of this, and I did. We got a horse entrance in our castle, and the set looks good. Robo Guardian in the background, he's thrilled. He's happy to have another set from back in the day coming out. Like, look how happy he is. You can tell by his expression. He's a new character here. But yeah, I'm happy with this set. We'll get the right parts for it, and I'll make a little follow-up. We'll try to do a Bricklink order, getting those along with some other stuff for minifigs that we need, because we need a lot. But I think I have everything. I did have some of these pieces left over. I don't know what happened there, but I learned an important lesson with this build. Maybe you learned along with me that when you're inventorying sets, you got to be really careful and double check everything. Make sure you have everything you need, because I had ample time that I could have ordered all the parts for this and shared this with you. But after going through the inventory, I was like, I got it. It's all good. All the parts are there. And then you go to build and you're like, those doors are 2 sizes too small. And that's what you're into, but it makes for a funny storyline, I suppose, and a little bit of a follow-up that we can do in the future. That being said, this set might end up having to get torn down in the event that I go to build another set from this lot that the stuff is actually there, or for the most part, minus what's on here, which would be okay, because I could pull most of this, at least I'm assuming, out of my collection, even though the doors are completely lost. I think they might have gone into my Western sets, because it had similar doors to that, and I might have built something custom that had brown doors. Those ones usually were black, so I couldn't even pull out of there. But you know what? We got this built today. This was a trip down memory lane. In fact, it brought back a memory of this set. I remember getting this, I think it was for like Christmas, and I built it at my grandmother's house. This is like some extra here if you want to stick around for my story time. And I remember we were leaving and I was walking down the porch steps, and I think I slipped on some ice or something, ended up falling, and this set was in like a plastic bag, and I remember it breaking and having to rebuild it. So that like alone was worth the price of admission for me, even though it's not built 100% to spec. That trip literally and figuratively down memory lane was worth it. And I think that's what I love most about doing Lego as an adult, is just like reliving, and I know I say this all the time, but like reliving those childhood memories, oftentimes sharing it with my son too, and then as an adult just getting to go back there is so cool. So hope you enjoyed coming along with me on the build of the Knight Stronghold, our version of it with the horse entrance now added on. I hope you have a glorious rest of your day, and of course we'll see you in the next video.